Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here. And welcome to my Smallville Season 3 review. You know I'm obsessed with Smallville by now. Now, the views on these videos for Smallville are not very high, but I don't care because I love Smallville. So whoever comes in to see these videos, you are very welcome. Wow, Season 3 really is the pinnacle for any Smallville fan. From seeing the nuance with the twisted father-son relationship between Lex and Lionel, absolutely brilliant. I've already reviewed Shattered on here and another episode which I forgot, but Shattered really is the pinnacle really of Smallville, because that episode really shows you why Lex Luthor becomes what he becomes. What choice did he have after what his father did to him? You've got an episode like Legacy, which is brilliant. You see the consequences of the deal that Jonathan made with Jor-El coming to fruition. And in that episode, seeing Jonathan regret his life. And then we see the final appearance from Christopher Reeve as Dr. Virgil Swan. Now, in the penultimate episode of Season 3, it was the final episode of Pete Ross, a.k.a. Sam Jones III. I feel sorry for Sam. I feel sorry for the character of Pete because he was always an afterthought. It was token casting and Pete was never given a fair go in this show. I loved Pete. I loved Sam. It's a display of tokenism, if you like. But, Pete Ross, actually, despite him being an afterthought, wasn't actually a really effective character. And when they gave him something to do, he was so good. I think by Season 3, I'd had enough of the Lorna lusting and the stuff between Lorna. Watching it now, I appreciate it a lot more. And then you had this interesting Adam Knight. Is it Adam Knight? The Adam story, and what Lionel Luthor bringing him back with Clark's blood, and what happened between Adam and Lorna. That was an interesting little arc, I think, which really showed you what Lionel is capable of. The Season 3 finale is just amazing. It really is. So this girl who claims she's Kara, of course is Supergirl. She's not Kara. She's someone who was in a car crash during the meteor shower, and Jor-El was keeping her in the cave walls all this time, preparing her to lure Clark to him. And it's very interesting in that cave. I always find that scene in the cave so interesting. Jor-El's got this kind of light wrapped round Jonathan's neck, threatening to kill him unless Clark goes into the cave wall. And Jonathan says a brilliant thing. He says, "I've had a full life, son. Jor-El can do whatever he wants to me." Season 3 just shows you Jonathan is willing to sacrifice anything for his son. He might not be Clark's blood father, but he's willing to sacrifice anything for his son. He really is the perfect archetype for what a father should be. And I think these days, with that kind of conversation going on about men and how we behave and how we don't behave, Jonathan Kent is brilliant. And John Schneider, who played him, really believed in all that. And if you ever see any interviews with John, or any kind of when he has been in podcasts, when Smallville was active, very interesting listening to John Schneider and how much he believes in the nuance of that relationship between Clark and John Schneider is beyond reproach. Absolutely fantastic. I think that John Glover as Lionel Luthor is the meat in the sandwich of Season 3 of Smallville. He is the ultimate supervillain in this season. In that final episode, in that kind of moment when he's getting his hair shaved off in prison, and you can see these things happening. Lex has just drunk the poison whiskey. There's all these things going on. Some of them he's had something to do with Chloe's safe house exploding, with Chloe and her father in it. And then when it explodes, they do a close-up into Glover's eyes, in Lionel Luthor's eyes. And brilliant acting there by John. He was just brilliant as Lionel Luthor. He just had such a great arc throughout his 7 seasons. It was amazing. And as I say, so much nuance and so much depth when you compare Smallville to Arrowverse, which has no nuance and no depth, it's amazing. It truly is. I think a lot of people see season 3. They see season 3 as Smallville at its peak. I'm not sure. A lot of critics and people didn't like season 4, 5 and 6. I really enjoyed it, and I thought the show got better and better during our Mars reign, right up to season 7. But we'll talk about those seasons when I've rewatched them. I've literally just finished the season 3 finale, so I'm pumped. I mean, I've seen this show again and again and again, and it never gets boring. It's just an amazing show, and it's a great addition to the catalogue of Superman live action. This is, of course, a pre-Superman story, but it really works on so many levels. It goes, in some essence, it goes beyond Superman, but they never forget that this is a pre-Superman story. This is the story of how Clark Kent becomes Superman with every character-driven step. And it shows you how Lex Luthor becomes the megalomaniac, evil genius he becomes. And Rosenbaum plays Lex in such an intelligent fashion. But the way he's written and the steps he takes are amazing. And I mean, if you are on this journey with me and you have been rewatching season 3 and you're about to start season 4, I'm about to rewatch season 4 tomorrow. I think I can say you ain't seen nothing yet. There's so much more to come. But season 3 of Smallville, I think, for a lot of people, because really season 3, the creators of Smallville, Alan Miles, didn't write any episodes after season 4, episode 1. But you didn't really notice. They were still running the shows. They just weren't writing the episodes anymore. They had a lot of fingers in a lot of pies. Their successor, Smallville, had them writing the screenplay for a Spider-Man 2. Now, interesting that screenplay was rewritten, but they were still part of that journey, and that just shows people were taking notice of their achievements in Smallville. But yeah, season 3 is a very special season. It's a 10 out of 10 season. We learn a lot more about the Kawatche Caves. I love the Kawatche Caves. I love that final scene in season 3 in the Kawatche Caves. It really does work. In the finale, we also see Clark discovering Lex's secret room, which is, he's got so many different things, pictures of the Kents, different things from the Kawatche Caves. He's investigating Clark, and Lionel gives him the key to this door, hoping that Clark won't testify against him. But of course, that doesn't stop Clark. But it does begin the kind of distrust between Clark and Lex. And I think that's the beginning of season 4. They're still kind of friends. They still kind of make it up within season 4, but it begins. And then season 5 and season 6, it really does kick off between them. Look, Smallville was an excellent show, and season 3 was an amazing season. Alison Macker's Chloe. I know, it's not, I suppose a lot of people don't want to talk about Alison, but her contribution to Smallville is immense, and her performances were immense. And season 4 is one, we'll talk about this when I review the season, of course, but it's a big one for Chloe's and Clark's relationship. But this show is just coup de grace, and I'll never forget it, and I'll always love it.